Welcome back, folks, to another edition of WrestleRant, where I give my in-depth analysis of all the pay-per-views that I watch on the WWE Network. This week is going to be a little different. I'm a little tight on time. I'm already in my work clothes. I'm off to work in less than an hour, so I wanted to film this quick video. But it's going to be a review of the 2008 Saturday Night's Main Event episode that aired in early August of 2008. I will be reviewing the 2008, 2011, and 2013 SummerSlams within the next 2 weeks or so. They probably won't be up on Tuesdays. They might be up on a Thursday or a Saturday. Remains to be seen, but I've been watching a lot of SummerSlams. I've been SummerSlam mode for the last couple of weeks. But there's going to be a lot more SummerSlams to be reviewed, but I definitely had a certain amount of time to film a video today, so I thought I'd do a brief review of a 2008 Saturday Night's Main Event episode that aired 6 years ago. So a little backstory here. I was a fan at the time. I was unable to watch the show. I went out to the movies that night. I told my little brother, can you please record this show for me? It aired on NBC, Saturday Night's Main Event. Do I have to explain anymore? The one show of the year that WWE used to do when they didn't have as many pay-per-views back in the 80s and 90s. They discontinued it for a while, brought it back in 06. They had a few episodes in 06 and 07. Had only one episode in 2008. Was the final one before it was discontinued and hasn't been seen since, until now on the WWE Network. So my brother never ended up recording the show, so this was my first time watching the show in 6 years. So it was kind of cool. I did know the results beforehand, but it was cool watching back this episode. Kind of a trip down memory lane, so to speak. So the opening matchup of this show was John Cena, Batista, and Crime Time taking on JBL, Kane, and Team Priceless, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase, respectively, an 8-person tag team action. Now, Cena and Batista were on a collision course towards SummerSlam, although no tension was teased here. They were facing one-on-one at SummerSlam 2008. Like I said before, I will be reviewing that show in just a couple of days/weeks. But that being said, though, we also had Priceless and Crime Time feuding. Kane was just kind of randomly thrown in there. Punk was on commentary as he was feuding with JBL at the time over the World Heavyweight Championship. A very solid 8-man tag team matchup. Everyone got their spots in. The final few minutes, everyone was able to hit their finishers. Everyone got their shining moments. The heels went over after JBL pinned JTG. JTG, pretty hilarious. But nevertheless, solid tag team match to kick off the show. And when something that I always wondered, dating back to when this first aired, was whether WWE taped these matches before Raw or before the SmackDown tapings, or because I always thought, like, did they hold a show on the Saturday Night's Main Event, like on the Saturday night, just for this 1 hour? I was always skeptical about that, and I was, getting smarter through the years. I've realized that was completely illogical to do. So they must have taped these matches before Raw. I never really found that out for sure. Just doing a little simple research probably could have answered that question for me, but I was too lazy enough to do that, so I'll probably figure that out after filming this video. But nevertheless, we had that 8-man tag team match kicking off the show. Up next, we had Great Khali taking on Jimmy Wang Yang in a quick squash match. Great Khali dominating Jimmy Wang Yang with ease, building towards his WWE Championship match with Triple H at SummerSlam. Now, on paper, that was a train wreck of a match to put Great Khali in a WWE title match. And it always seemed to me that they were always pushing Khali like every fucking summer for some reason. You really think about it, debuted in 06, had that feud with The Undertaker for that year, over the course of 2006. 2007, once again, was pushed during the summer when he became World Heavyweight Champion and feuded with Batista. 2008, got another major push in the WWE title picture over on SmackDown. 2009, and pushed during the feud with Kane before being written off TV by the end of the summer. So I always wondered why summer was always that one season Khali that Khali was pushed during for whatever reason. Why, I have no idea, but I always thought that was interesting. But Khali gets a quick win here, like I said before, to build momentum to his WWE title match with Triple H at SummerSlam. I almost said Saturday Night's Main Event. That's what this show was. At SummerSlam a couple of weeks later. Main events, actually even before that, we had Jenny McCarthy coming out in support for autism. They had a brief fundraiser for that, cutting a brief promo, short and sweet. It was pretty cool that they had that little autism thing going. They had a few celebrity cameos, not in person, but via video packages and videos and whatever. I thought that was always pretty cool. That this show, I don't know if they did this for past Saturday Night Main Events shows or not. I don't think they did, but it was cool that they kind of tied in the autism fundraiser into the show and kind of had a purpose behind the show aside from the usual Saturday Night's Main Event WWE pay-per-views or whatever. Not pay-per-views, but events. You know what I'm talking about. So I thought that was pretty cool. But we get to the main event. It's Jeff Hardy taking on Edge. Edge was building towards his Undertaker matchup at SummerSlam for the Hell in a Cell contest. Jeff Hardy was in the midst of a feud with MVP. A very good matchup from these two, I think. I don't know if they faced up on SmackDown before this. I can't recall them ever facing up on SmackDown before this matchup, but they would have a hell of a feud later on in the year and in 2009 over the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships. But this is a very good matchup. Jeff Hardy was one of the most over motherfuckers in all of 2008 and 2009. And the fact that he left kind of derailed his momentum a little bit when he went over to TNA. But even still, even in this matchup during Edge, the crowd was very much in the corner of Jeff Hardy. Edge was a fucking amazing heel at the time, right up there with Chris Jericho. And his feud with Shawn Michaels and Edge's feud with Undertaker. That was just one fuck of a feud for both guys. Shawn Michaels and Jericho and Edge and Undertaker. Both guys were the best heels in the business in 2008. Very good matchup from Jeff Hardy and Edge. A lot of close near falls, a lot of awesome action. They have always had great chemistry together, and this matchup was no different. Finish came when Jeff Hardy was draped over the apron at ringside. Jeff Hardy's arch enemy, MVP, ended up coming out of nowhere, hit the running boots on Jeff Hardy at ringside, allowed Edge to capitalize, hit the spear, 1, 2, 3, Edge is your winner going into SummerSlam. So, like I said before, a very good matchup. Helped build the feud between MVP and Jeff Hardy. Undertaker didn't resurface until SummerSlam, so it was okay that he did not make an appearance here on Saturday night's main event of all places. But even so, though, a good matchup to cap off what I thought was a good show. On the WWE Network, the show is only 40 minutes long. But the Saturday night's main event feel really lost that luster by this point in time that it usually had in the 80s and maybe even in the early 90s. But it was still a cool special for WWE to hold in 06, 07, and 08 respectively. But with so many pay-per-views during these years, it really proved to be unnecessary. They would scrap it in favor of the WrestleMania special that they would hold on NBC in the first weekend of August every single year. So that being said, I enjoyed watching this back, mostly because I grew up watching the year of 2008. That was my first year as a wrestling fan, so watching these feuds and matches back really entertained me personally. I wouldn't really suggest it's anything that you go out of your way to see, but it was a fun hour of wrestling if you had the time to kill. 40 minutes to kill, to be exact. It was fun for what it was, but it's not really worth going out of your way to see unless you're kind of tight on time or something like that. But nevertheless, that's my review, my very brief review of the 2008 Saturday Night's Main Event show. You can go back and watch it on the WWE Network. Like I said before, I apologize for the brief review this week. I'm on a tight schedule over the next couple of days, but I do promise that I will have reviews up SummerSlam 2008, SummerSlam 2011, and SummerSlam 2013 over the next week or so. They're all going to be up here on the channel. Looking forward to reviewing them and looking forward to you guys watching them. So as always, guys, always appreciate the support. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back in a couple of days with another SummerSlam review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then.